مسيحي أجنبي يستمع لأول مرة إلى قصة ولادة عيسى عليه السلام من القرآن الكريم. اكتشف تشابهات مذهلة بين المسيحية والإسلام تجعله يعيد التفكير في كل معتقداته. ردة فعله قد تغير نظرتك إلى الإسلام إلى الأبد.
In terms of my beliefs, I'm Christian, but I feel I'm fairly open-minded. So I believe in energy in terms of that we are all connected on some level. And also whatever vibration we put out, whatever frequency we put out to the world, the universe is also what comes back. So a mixture of spirituality and also religion. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be reacting to a couple of Islamic videos. I'll share how I feel and what comes out of it.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. واذكر في الكتاب مريم إذ انتبذت من أهلها مكانا شرقيا فاتخذت من دونهم حجابا فأرسلنا إليها روحنا فتمثل لها بشرا سويا قالت إني أعوذ بالرحمن منك إن كنت تقيا قال إنما أنا رسول ربك لأهب لك غلاما زكيا قالت أنى يكون لي غلام ولم يمسسني بشر ولم أك بغيا قال كذلك قال ربك هو علي هين ولنجعله آية للناس ورحمة منا وكان أمرا مقضيا فحملته فانتبذت به مكانا قصيا فأجاءها المخاض إلى جذع النخلة قالت يا ليتني مت قبل هذا وكنت نسيا منسيا فناداها من تحتها ألا تحزني قد جعل ربك تحتك سريا وهزي إليك بجذع النخلة تساقط عليك رطبا جنيا فكلي واشربي وقري عينا فإما ترين من البشر أحدا فقولي إني نذرت للرحمن صوما فلن أكلم اليوم إنسيا فأتت به قومها تحمله قالوا يا مريم لقد جئت شيئا فريا يا أخت هارون ما كان أبوك امرأ سوء وما كانت أمك بغيا فأشارت إليه قالوا كيف نكلم من كان في المهد صبيا قال إني عبد الله آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا وجعلني مباركا أينما كنت وأوصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا وبرا بوالدتي ولم يجعلني جبارا شقيا والسلام علي يوم ولدت ويوم أموت ويوم أبعث حيا ذلك عيسى بن مريم قول الحق الذي فيه يمترون ما كان لله أن يتخذ من ولد سبحانه إذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون وإن الله ربي وربكم فاعبدوه هذا صراط مستقيم فاختلف الأحزاب من بينهم فويل للذين كفروا من مشهد يوم عظيم أسمع بهم وأبصر يوم يأتوننا لكن الظالمون اليوم في ضلال مبين وأنذرهم يوم الحسرة إذ قضي الأمر وهم في غفلة وهم لا يؤمنون.
My initial thoughts are actually surprise because I could see so many similarities with other religions, talking about Mary, Jesus. That was surprising for me in my not knowing and not being aware, and clearly a lot to learn. So that was my initial thoughts. It was more taken by surprise than anything else. I feel like my answer to this is purely a personal thing. It's Jesus being good to his mother. At least that's what I got from it. So be good to your mum, because if you've got a mum, then yeah, look after her. That's what I got. That's the main bit that stood out. So much, almost all of it aligns with my own personal beliefs and values, from being good to your mum to ensuring that you do the right things while you're on this earth. You live to certain values, principles, you're not unjust, and you surrender to a higher purpose, whatever that is. And I feel personally that if we just stop and listen, we're so busy being human doings instead of human beings. If we slow down for just a moment, like I've had to slow down today to watch this, it gives us the opportunity to hear the true path. And 100% that's what I got from watching this. And when I started the video, I thought, oh, it's actually a long video, but I was engrossed completely in the story and connecting with the flow from beginning to end. This bit caught me by surprise because I was visualizing throughout the entire thing, and yes, I did imagine Jesus as a baby in the cot or cradle, and then he starts speaking. So this did kind of weird me out a little bit, if I'm completely honest, and I accepted it and thought, well, it is Jesus, so maybe he could speak as a baby and share that important message and predict his future and the future of everybody as well. But yeah, it caught me a little bit again by surprise, and then I just went with it. I surrendered to it and flowed. Again, the main thing, and maybe this is just because where I'm at in my life, at least the last couple of years, is to make the right decisions and to, I don't want to say be a good person because it sounds like a cliche, but surrender to something higher. Follow principles that are laid out so clearly for us, then you'll know what to do. You don't need to force anything, force decisions, force being successful in life. You will have the answers when you slow down. This video particularly was very clear on that. Also, what was clear was understanding the story. There was the whole story behind it, and I felt I had to listen word for word and be engrossed in the story. Being completely transparent, I knew nothing about Jesus being mentioned in Islam or Mary or any of these stories. So everything that was within this chapter was a new lesson for me. This is such a big question because in so many ways I feel that the world is completely backwards. We are materially driven, everything's about making more money, everything is about short-term gain, instant gratification, and we've lost a lot of these core values, I believe. And so to get back to the things that truly matter is what came through in this chapter. And having faith, surrendering, I've been lucky in my life to have a lot of good experiences, achieve some things, and also make some mistakes along the way where my ego was kicked in, and then predictably things all crumbled and fell apart or imploded, and it's got me to ask deeper questions. And I feel that we are reaching a stage where many people are looking for something more because everything's so accessible. You want a new car, you can get a new car. Most people can get a new car. They can buy a big TV, they can get a laptop, a phone. All the material things are there now. But now people want peace, they want something more meaningful. They want to feel that they're making a real difference in the world. At least that's how I feel personally, and that's also the journey that I'm on too. So it resonated very strongly with that. This is not something that I've ever talked about publicly, so this is the first time I'm sharing it with anybody. But in my own life, one of the things that I wasn't doing was talking to God. And I noticed again and again, everything felt like it was on my shoulders. Running a business, having staff, it always felt like everything came back to me. And I reached a point of complete burnout, exhaustion, where I started to have physical symptoms, anxiety, hundreds of panic attacks. That took me on a journey of self-healing. And a part of that journey, and a big part of that, was realizing, why am I trying to do this all by me? I'm not that important, but there is God who I can surrender to and I can talk to, and I'm not sure if this sounds the right way to say it, but I'll say it anyway. For me, I've been talking to God daily, and I feel like I have a teammate. I feel like I have somebody that I can trust, and when I don't know what to do, there's been answers provided, and it's stopped so many poor decisions in my life. So by talking to God and by relying on God, and quite honestly, I just got tired of myself in my life with certain things and the same repeating patterns happening again and again. And it was time to make a change. I am 1,000%, 1,000,000%, whatever percent you can be, relying on God during difficult times. And I think if more of us were open to that, then we'd have a much more peaceful world. The main question that I would like to ask would be, how has it led your life? What are your principles like as a human being? This experience you're having, how do you treat your family as a result of it? How do you live? Because that to me is always the number one thing, is not what somebody's achieved, not their merits, their certifications, their qualifications, how much money they've got in the bank. All those are all great, but most importantly, how does that person live as a human being? So for me, I would love to know more about that for sure. I'm curious. I will be hesitant to say that I'm going to go and study 3 hours a day, but it has opened my mind today for sure. And I feel deeply grateful that I've been asked to do this, because again, when you trust God and you allow things to come to you instead of trying to force everything, which is very much my life for a lot of years, it's amazing how the right things come at the right time, even if you think you don't need it. So this was very much the lesson that I didn't know I needed. And I think that's the best way to explain it.
كما رأيتم، هذه التجربة فتحت له أبوابا جديدة لفهم الإسلام، وأثارت في أعماقه أسئلة عن الإيمان والحياة. إذا أعجبكم هذا الفيديو لا تنسوا الإعجاب والاشتراك في قناة فيرا لمزيد من القصص الملهمة عن الأجانب والإسلام في الغرب. شاركونا آراءكم في التعليقات. شكرا للمشاهدة، وإلى اللقاء في فيديو آخر، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.